like to have a seat, we'll go ahead and get started. Well, good evening. Thank you to everyone who is here tonight. We're glad to see you here on this beautiful night. Our goal is to provide voters with an opportunity to see and hear candidates so that you're able to make an informed choice when voting. Thank you to the candidates for attending tonight and providing an opportunity for the voters to meet you, hear your story and your goals, and talk to you individually. We want to acknowledge that all candidates who have filed to run for the offices of Ottawa County Commissioner in Districts 5, 6, 7, 8, and 11, Ottawa County Treasurer, and Ottawa County Water Resources Commissioner have been invited to tonight's event. And I know these candidates have been doing this a lot, so thank you. Thank you to the League's Voter Services Committee, who have been the primary organizer of tonight's event. And a special thanks to the GAC volunteers who helped us set up and fold papers, and we really appreciate your effort. A little about the League of Women Voters. Our organization was founded in 1920 to help voters register to vote, learn how to vote, because women had just gotten the right to vote, and be informed about issues and candidates. Even after more than 100 years, our mission remains the same, to empower voters through education. The League is a nonpartisan organization. We do not support candidates, nor do we oppose candidates. We provide opportunities for voters to learn about the candidate by sponsoring events like tonight's meet and greet. I will be the moderator for tonight's meeting. Before we introduce our candidates and give them an opportunity to speak, I'll review the rules. Each candidate here this evening has received, reviewed, and agreed to the rules. Each candidate will be given 4.5 minutes for opening remarks. Candidates agree not to engage in personal attacks. The candidates' remarks will be videotaped and will be available on the League's YouTube channel, and it will be shown unedited and in its entirety. The League claims copyright ownership of the recordings. No video or audio recordings or clips or any portion of the videotape may be used for political advertising or other purposes. The candidates are welcome to post a link to the videotape on your website or Facebook page. That's fine. You just have to do a link to the entire videotape. Following the candidates' remarks, they will go to their tables around the room and talk to voters individually. We encourage audience members to talk with those candidates that are running to represent you. The League provides this event is an opportunity for the candidates to express their views related to their candidacy. Statements expressed by the candidates are not endorsed nor opposed by the League. Also, the League does not certify any candidate responses to the questions as accurate. Voters are encouraged to fact-check information. We ask the audience to listen respectfully during the candidates' comments. Please hold your applause until all the candidates have spoken. We have 7 candidates with us tonight, and we want to have time for them to talk to you individually. Our timekeeper is Paula Lewison. She's sitting right here in the front row, and she will signal each speaker when there's 30 seconds remaining. When Paula holds up the stop sign, please complete your sentence and stop speaking. So the candidates that we have here tonight with us are Joe Bush, he's running for Ottawa County Water Resources Commissioner. Cheryl Clark is running for Ottawa County Treasurer. Dianne Sluiter Fikse is running for Ottawa County Treasurer. And then we have 4 candidates who are running for the Ottawa County Board of Commissioners. Michelle Dieleman in District 6, Heather Majestic in District 7, John Teeples in District 7, and Rebecca Patrick in District 8. So with that, we'll have Joe begin. And candidates are just going to go one right after the other.
All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and stand up here. Everybody hear me okay in the back? I know it kind of echoes in here. David, too bad. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. David and I go way back. Anyway, thank you everybody for being here tonight to listen to all the candidates. Again, I'm Joe Bush, your current Water Resources Commissioner. I got elected back in 2012, and I've been your current Water Resources Commissioner since I got sworn in January 1 of 2013. Again, the reason people ask me, well, Joe, you want to serve another 4 years? And I am. And the number one reason is because water quality is very important to every one of us, right? Water quality is life, right? Water is life. Either we have too much of it, so we try to prevent flooding by smart development, because I do review all the developments in Ottawa County. So we try to do smart development, detention, retention ponds, green infrastructure, water quality. You know, that all comes into play on that. The other piece of what I do is drain maintenance. We have, when I got elected in 2013, or 2012 and started in 2013, we had about 800 drains, plus or minus a few. Now we're up to 1,300 drains. I maintain those county drains with me and my staff. So that's another big part of our job. The other one is probably one of the biggest parts besides water quality and smart development and soil erosion is leadership. And that's why I ran again. Because I'm very, very sincere when I talk about good leadership gets the county in a good spot, right? And then one of the things I do is have passion for people. I put people over politics. People always ask me, well, Joe, what makes you to go in the morning? What makes your staff be so excited to come to work? Number one is customer service. I am proud to be elected and work for all of you in this room. If you're in Ottawa County, I work for you. Doesn't matter what side of the aisle, RD, independent, doesn't matter to me. Because when people call and they need something, I'm going to make sure that I'm there, or my staff is there. I remind my staff on a weekly basis, if not daily, they work for the taxpayer. That's our job. Our job is to serve you and to serve everybody that lives in Ottawa County. You know, we've been the fastest growing county since I started, since 2012. There's been a lot of changes in Ottawa County. Just drive around, look at all the new subdivisions, all the new industrial. That's a good problem to have, but there's a balance. There's some things that the other part of that development and everything else is farmland. You know, I was endorsed by Ottawa County Farm Bureau because I take agriculture very seriously. So they end up endorsing me because they know that when they call me, we're going to be there for the farmers as well, and the business owners, and the property owners, and the schools. You know, I work with not too many people can say that across the state as a Water Resources or Drain Commission. Again, some people think the Drain Commission is different than the Water Resources. It's not. I changed the title back in 2012, or the County Board of Commissioners did back then. They passed a resolution that came from Oakland County. When Oakland County changed the title can be changed per state law, and they were changing my name anyway to be the new or Drain Commissioner. I said, let's make it Water Resources, because it's really about water, and it's really about providing resources to the public and trying to educate the public. And then also to do our job for the public, which is water resources. The other issue that I take very seriously is the groundwater issue. I've been on the groundwater board for 12 years. I'm very involved in that whole process, what's going on, all the monitoring wells going in. That's another big role that I take very much pride in, to make sure that there's water for everybody in Ottawa County. Georgetown, you guys don't have that issue. A lot of you are on municipal water, but you get towards Allendale, you get towards Blendon, Robinson, Olive Township, there's a lot of problems with water. The other part is I'm on the Parks and Rec board. That I love serving on the Parks and Rec. We got one of the best parks and recs probably in the state of Michigan. And my time's almost up, but I appreciate your vote on November 5. Come and see me over here. And again, I'm all about building relationships, building bridges, and that's the way I've been in the whole time I've been elected. So thank you for being here tonight.
I'm going to use the mic because I don't know if my voice will carry that far. So I am Cheryl Clark, and I am your Ottawa County Treasurer. First, I would like to thank the League of Women Voters and GAC for helping out by setting all of this up. It's a lot of hard work, and I appreciate it. Thank you for giving all of us a chance to come and introduce ourselves to the residents here in Ottawa County. So I'll give you a little bit of information about myself. I was born and raised in Grand Haven. I've lived in Ottawa County for over 56 years. And I'm married to my husband, the love of my life, and my best friend, Joe. We just celebrated our 34th wedding anniversary on Sunday. And we have 2 sons in their late 20s. Give you some of my experience background, because when I was going door to door, that was one thing that people said to me, is they want to hire somebody, they want to vote for somebody who has the experience, who knows what they are doing. So I am running for Ottawa County Treasurer because I have an advanced certificate in public funds investment management. I have over 33 years of actually investing the public funds for the county and Robinson Township. I have been investing the county's over $200 million portfolio for the past 15 years. And like I said, I was at Robinson Township. I was there for 9 years as the treasurer. And I believe that that gives me a lot of experience because I know what it's like to be an elected official. I know, like Joe said, that what it means to answer to you, to the public, to the residents of the county. And believe me, I take that very seriously. I also have 24 years total in the treasurer's office, and 15 of those was as the chief deputy treasurer. I've served with four different Ottawa County treasurers over the years, and I've learned from each one of them, and I've taken bits of information from each one, and planning to use that as I go forward. I've worked in the treasurer's office and know all of the laws that govern our office. I've also had the opportunity to speak with business leaders and residents at chamber events and candidate forums like this. And like I said, going door to door about what I do and about what our office does. A lot of people don't know what the treasurer does. I am also have had the opportunity to help several taxpayers this past year after being appointed to the treasurer's position. I help them avoid tax foreclosure. And some of the ways that I was able to do that is to hook them up with agencies who are able to educate them and help them out financially and get them set up in finance programs and stuff, help them learn to save their money and to pay their bills. And I would like to tell you a little story because I feel it gives you a sense of who I am, the type of person that I am. I had a lady whose home I had actually foreclosed on. I had been to her house. She never called, never came into the office to talk to me. Her brother contacted me a couple of weeks after we foreclosed on the home. Told me that he did not realize how serious the situation was, did not realize that she had not been paying her taxes, and said that when he went to her house to visit her, he noticed that she had a pile of mail that was unopened. And one of those pieces of mail was from me. And so he was calling to see what could be done. I ended up getting him connected with CMH because through the discussions we found out that she was going through a depression. So CMH got her some help and we pulled her property from the auction. Like I said, that's just one of the things that I think, one of the stories that I have several more stories that I'd love to tell you back at my table. I have chocolate for you also, if you'd like. And I would just like you to remember that a vote for Cheryl Clark just makes good sense.
Hi, my name is Dianne Sluiter Fikse, and I'm running for Ottawa County Treasurer. I've lived in Zeeland all my life. I'm running as an independent. I believe that the Treasurer's office should be nonpartisan, since it doesn't serve one political side, but it serves all. But I do have great news. If you vote a straight ticket, you can still vote for me. Just go on down and check my name. I have experience in both the private and the public sector, as well as an MBA in finance. I have over 25 years experience in accounting, For 10 years, I was a small business owner right here in Ottawa County, employing 18 to 25 people. Currently, I am the Financial Shared Services Manager at a Tier 1 auto manufacturer with locations in Ottawa County and abroad. But more importantly, from 2018 to 2023, I worked in Ottawa County finance. I have an in-depth knowledge of county government and finance. This combination of education, experience in small business and big business, plus experience in government make me a uniquely qualified candidate for Ottawa County Treasurer. I have a history of integrity and transparency. Showing these values will bring back trust with all county residents, not just one side of the political line. I want to meet county residents where they are at. On my flyer, I have words of support. An Ottawa County employee said this: "While working with Dianne through very difficult project accounting tasks, Dianne was one of the best communicators I have ever met. She was very transparent, deliberate, and kind." You can pick one of these up back there if you want it. 6 years ago, I was tailgating at a football game with my kids. They asked me, "Mom, what now? What are your dreams? The business is sold. Where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years?" I told them I wanted to be the Ottawa County Treasurer. The slogan, "Fikse for the Future," began that day, and I've been working towards that dream ever since. My passion is having Ottawa County be a county where everyone feels like they belong. "Where you belong" was the slogan when I was employed at the county, and it became a part of me. I was angry and hurt when the OI commissioners changed our slogan. A few months ago, the CFO of my current employer called me the glue. I thought, that's kind of odd, but okay, thank you, and I went on with my day. Last week, my daughter and I are kind of Survivor junkies, and we watch Survivor each week. But one of the contestants, said he was the glue guy. I thought, Gina called me that. I wonder what it means. But Google is a wonderful thing. Google said this: "In a company, a glue guy is someone who builds real human connections with the team and sets the tone for collaboration." I asked Gina if that's what she meant. And she said, "Yes, Dianne, you have the natural ability to connect with people. It's effortless." I want to continue in that legacy and use my voice for county residents because we are a county where everyone belongs. I will leave you with this story. I was the first employee to make public comment at the incoming Board of Commissioners in 2023 after they shocked the county. I did so against the advice of the Fiscal Services Director, she was my employer at the time, and Corporate Counsel. I could not keep quiet. Over the next few months, county employees would thank me for speaking up. Frankly, I was overwhelmed at the support I felt from the county staff. Much later, Marcia Mansoray shared with me that I was her inspiration. She thought, if Dianne can do it, so can I. I want to use my voice to inspire others to use theirs. I want to use my knowledge of county finance to bring forth a county treasurer's office that is collaborative and educational as well as fiscally sound. Can I say that again? I want to use my knowledge of finance to bring forth a county treasurer's office that is collaborative and educational as well as fiscally sound. I want residents to speak up because I will listen and I will speak on their behalf.
Dieleman. I am running for County Commission in District 6, which is up the street, over there. Happy birthday, Joe. I just want to say happy birthday this morning.
Well, my wife
I almost texted you, happy birthday. Anyway, my daughter is in labor right now. And I hope so much that she shares her birthday with Joe because she is real tired of it. So I hope that baby's born and we think of you. So I stopped there on the way here and I'm a little bit of a wreck. And I didn't prepare because I sat with her part of the day and I worked most of the day. And so a couple of things, so I'm really kind of scattered and I don't have a lot of thoughts prepared. But there's a few things I want to say. One is that one of the beautiful things about these events is that you get to know me a little bit. That's great. You can get to know me in a lot of ways. You can go to my website, you can call me, you can email me, you can, whatever. And if you're in my district, that's easy. What I think is the most beneficial thing about these events is I get to talk to, meet, and get to know John and Marcia and, Cheryl and Joe. And it's the only place, honestly, that we get to talk to each other, or that I get to anyway, as a
Candidate?
Candidate, thank you. Menopause brain. And I love that. I love that. And here's the thing. I show up to these things every time I can. I worked a really long day today, my kid's in labor, and I still showed up. I see a lot of people that don't show up to these. I am telling you, man, you put yourself out here when you do this. It takes a lot of courage. Thanks, you guys. Really, that is how scared I am. I promise you, I'm a wreck. It doesn't take just courage, though. You have to be so vulnerable. To do this takes a lot of vulnerability. That's what I was trying to say. And honestly, I can see why I just stay home and I'd only go to things that people that agree with every single thing I say show up to. You know what? We don't agree with every single thing we each other say. John and I will disagree on some things. Cheryl and I might disagree on some things. Certainly Sean and I disagreed on some things when we were running against each other and showing up here together. But you know what? We talk to each other. We reason things out. We learn that we can sit on a board together. Joe and I can sit down and hash out some things, and we literally see the things that we agree on instead of always being divided. That's what this is about too. It's not just about you getting to know me. And I appreciate it so much. I know today that if John and I sit on Mr. Teeples, sit on a board together, we can get along on almost every issue. We might not agree, we may not even vote the same, but we can talk it out. We can have coffee, right? So it's not about the Republican and the Democrat thing. It's honestly about the humanity that brings us together and the humanity that makes us want to have a better county. It almost makes me cry. Honestly, I just feel so deeply that it's important. I'm kind of, you run up against in a really red district, in a really red county, people who make assumptions about you really fast and kind of want to slam the door. And it's okay, it's not really that big of a deal. I don't take too much personal. But what I take personal is that we can't work together. We can't just sit down and have a cup of coffee and work together with those people. So I think you should vote for me because I show up. Whether you agree with me or not, I'm showing up. As much as I can, I'm going to leave here really fast and go check on my daughter, but I'm showing up. So thanks.
Majestic. Thank you to the League of Women Voters and GAC for putting on the event tonight and for allowing me to speak. I grew up in Western Pennsylvania. I went to college at Notre Dame on a Navy ROTC scholarship. I studied business administration, and upon graduation I was commissioned as a naval officer. I served in Alaska on the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower, an aircraft carrier, and with SEAL Team 2 in Virginia. I then resigned my commission, was honorably discharged, and joined the ranks of veterans, disabled one at that. In 2001, I got married, received my MBA from Michigan State, and started my career at Steelcase. I currently work for Cornwall Health as a sourcing manager. I have 2 kids, Nick, who is a senior at Michigan State, and Abby, who started as a freshman there this fall. Unfortunately, my husband passed away suddenly in 2019 when the kids were 16 and 13. And the loss of my husband required me to completely reevaluate who I am now as a single parent, as a Christian, and as a member of my community. Why am I running for commissioner in District 7? As someone who chose to raise my family here, I care deeply about my friends and neighbors. Because I'm a single parent, my children and I have learned the importance of community in addition to family. My primary objective in running for commissioner is to see to it that all families in Ottawa County feel valued, cared for, and supported according to their need. The current board leadership has strayed from their primary mission of providing services to constituents and instead has taken to following a revenge crusade and fighting national culture wars. For example, at the most recent board meeting last week, they refused to pass the 2025 county budget because it included state funding for communicable disease education and training. The board leadership interpreted the state funding as COVID funding and therefore voted to remove it, thinking they are setting an example for other counties across the nation to turn down what they see as excessive COVID spending. They hadn't even read the state contract or understood that it wasn't a grant. This kind of action puts our citizens at risk. We need a return to competence and service. They are failing our community on other fronts too. Excessive costs related to lawsuits and severance packages, plus unnecessary expansion of departments and additional staff. Last week, they formed a search committee to replace current interim county administrator. The members of the search committee included the same members whose previous decisions ended up causing the lawsuits and severance packages of the past 20 months. They act as though they are running an autocracy, but the lawsuits filed against them for wrongful termination say otherwise, at the peril of the services they are supposed to provide to the community. A further concern is how the county current board is politicizing county offices and services. Dwayne Eversole, Assistant Administrator of the newly formed Department of Veterans Affairs, sent an invitation to vets inviting them to an event sponsored by Lighthouse Baptist Church, featuring Tony Perkins of the Family Research Council, an enterprise funded by the Koch brothers. Mr. Perkins is nationally known as a far-right political operative. The first page of the Family Research Council's website says, "Defend faith, family, freedom. Donate today." The wording is not lost on me. It went out to veterans on county email, an obvious misuse of taxpayer funds. As a disabled Navy vet, I put on the uniform for the purpose of defending and supporting the freedom of all Americans, not those who ascribe to one religion or political persuasion. It is at best unfortunate that Mr. Eversole did not consider the political implications of this action, and at worst a violation of the First Amendment's Establishment Clause. The VA department needs to do things differently in the future. Additionally, as I contemplate the board meeting I attended last week, I was literally appalled at the lack of respect shown to citizens and other fellow commissioners who weren't aligned with the current board's opinions. They are making rules based on opinions and ideological boundaries instead of facts and collaboration, and we need to do better for our citizens and for ourselves. We need a county where we all belong. Thank you.
I'm not going to use the mic either. So I'm John Teeples. I'm the Republican nominee for District 7 for the County Commission. So by now, this is my third talk to the League of Women Voters. And I can't thank you enough for the service that you've given this community. You just keep giving and giving, and thank you so much. I don't have to explain who I am anymore. I've walked with my volunteers 8,000 or 9,000 homes in my district, every single house. I don't know if there's a house we missed. I really feel I have the pulse of Georgetown. And I won every precinct during the primary. I want to focus, instead of talking about me. If you want to know about me, go to my website, go to the Facebook page. There's everything you want to see and more, frankly, about me. Speeches, talks, videos, whatever else, experiences. I want to talk about what I see are the most important issues facing the county right now and what I would do about it. Number one, how do we build trust? Community trust again for the county commission. Number two, we have a low employee morale problem. How do we keep people here from leaving? Number three, how do we bring together a dysfunctional county commission, given all that's going on and the diversity of views? Number four, I'm really concerned about the financial status of the county, particularly relating to the bond rating. And all of this comes into play who the next administrator is going to be. That's going to be a key component to what happens over the next 4 years. And folks, I'm not a politician. I'm not looking for the next political office. I'm here for 4 years to try to put this county back where it should belong, where we all belong, and get it on the right footing, and I'm done. So I'm here to serve. And this is not what I plan to do, but I know I have the experiences. You know I've been an attorney for 38 years. I represented the city of Hudsonville for over 20, all these school districts. I've negotiated lots of contracts. I mediate for the court. I litigated. I understand the legal issues. And I understand, too, that this county commission that's sitting there right now, they just started that committee the other day to hire a new administrator. They had a year and a half to do that. And they wait now at the last 12th hour to do it. And they can't hire, by law, a new commissioner for more than 12 months. Who in the world is going to apply for their job in this county, given all the turmoil, and move their family, because they're going to be on the outside, right? Move their family to Ottawa County for 12 months. It's ludicrous. And frankly, that person that comes in from the outside will know nothing about the county. They will provide no help to the county or to the board over the next 12 months. They're going to try to figure out what's happening here. So that person will have no value to the county over the next 12 months. Where is the common sense in that? Where is the common sense? We will take a process of 4 to 6 months for a national search on the new county administrator. That's going to be vitally important. And that person under the new board won't be there for 1 year. It'll be a professional person that can lead us. In my view, so how do we build trust? Trust happens over time. It's going to take a process, like taking your time to find a good county administrator and not do this over 2 months, like they're proposing to do now. Where it's going to be a process that we build trust over time, but it's going to be transparent. Under my watch, there's no more closed-door, improper meetings. They're going to have respect among commissioners. And if there's people that are talking on that commission because they're out for political gain or their egos are too big, I'll call them out on it. Because we're here to serve. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, or Independent. We're here to serve these people. And that's building trust is number one. Number two, the people, the employees of this county are the most important people that in this county. Everything that happens in this county happens because of the goodness of the people that have committed their lives to this county. We need to support them. And under the new administration, we won't be involved in the day-to-day affairs of the county like this board does. We will trust an administrator to do their job for the benefit of the community, and we as a county commission will support them. I gotta stop, I'm out of town. But that bond rating is important. That'll be a really high priority for me, that we don't get that reassessed, and I'm worried about that reassessment. Thank you.
I don't have a loud voice, so I'll try it that way. Good evening, everybody. I'm Becky Patrick. I'm the Democrat running for County Commission from District 8, which is Allendale Township. I think many of you, maybe I've been one of the longest running candidates so far. I filed for election back in February of 2024, and I've been at this pretty much full bore ever since then. So I'm like Jen, I'm probably not going to go over all my credentials and all of the things that some of you have probably heard ad nauseum, because this also is my third time with the League of Women Voters, which I greatly appreciate your efforts in getting us in front of the voters. Thank you. And thank you to all of you for coming this evening. I'm going to use these few minutes to try to answer 3 questions that I think might be on your mind tonight. So the first one is, why am I running? The second one is, why should you vote for me? And the third one is really the money question, which is, can I, as a Democrat, get elected in a district that is really predominantly Republican? And I'll give you the spoiler answer, which is yes. We'll get to that in a minute, though. So why am I running for office? I think some of you know me well enough to know that I've been heavily involved in many of the grassroots organizing groups that came about in January of 2023 when our current commission majority took office, and there were many concerns expressed by people, and a number of these folks have addressed a lot of those already, but the one that I want to focus on is trust and fiscal responsibility. They breached those things, and as a former government employee myself, I was appalled when I saw that, and so I spent a lot of time working with grassroots groups. Some of you right here in this room, we worked very hard and very long hours, and finally, at the end of all of that, there was a decision to be made, which is that the only way to affect change when you're in an environment like this, if you feel strongly enough about it, is to get off the couch and to run for office. And so that's what I decided to do. So why should you vote for me? That is a legitimate question that you should be asking of all candidates. And for me, there's two reasons. One is that I have the experience necessary to do this job. I was the former regional director for the Michigan Departments of Environmental Quality and Natural Resources. My territory was the west side of the Lower Peninsula here in Michigan, so I'm very familiar with the environmental and natural resource issues up and down the west side of the state, and I have 30 years of state government experience. Now, that's not absolutely necessary to do a job like this, but I will tell you the lack of government experience is caused at least 70% of the problems that we have right now in county government. So I think it is a big plus when you're looking at who you want to lead you going forward. Another thing that is important to me is that I fully understand the issues with trust and government fiscal responsibility. And I'm going to try to repair those things, just like John talked about here a few minutes ago, because if you don't have trust in government, you don't have anything. All of government operates on a trust basis. And we can do some simple things to rebuild that trust, and we can talk about that if you get a chance to come over and talk to me at the table. But there's simple things like following rule of law, avoiding conflicts of interest, using policies and procedures. It's not rocket science, but it builds trust if people can rely on what it is that you say you're going to do and you do it. So the second reason that you should vote for me is I have plans. It's not just about avoiding the things that have been wrong, but it's about doing some things that need to be done. And so folks like Mr. Bush here is working hard on our groundwater issues. I live in Allendale Township. I hope to represent them. Allendale is heavily affected by our groundwater situation. There are people who have wells that are really full of water that cannot be drunk by human beings or even animals for that matter. And I would love to work with these folks. I have expertise in the environmental protection area and in groundwater resource development. And so they're doing a great job. I would love to work with them to partner on getting these solutions back to these townships. And then the last thing that I wanted to talk about is that why do I think I can get elected in a very red district? And that's the answer that you're really waiting for, right? So I will say that if we look at some statistics, I'll just run through them really quickly because I'm running out of time. We've got a situation where I have outraised my opponent by $6,000. If you look at the number of individual donors I have to my campaign, I have over 130 individual donors. She has 9. I have over 30 volunteers that are actively involved in my campaign. So it is possible to win as a Democrat in Allendale Township in Ottawa County, and I thank you for your attention.
Nicely done. I thought 4.5 minutes was going to be tough, but you all did a really nice job. Thank you. And thank you to all of you for being here tonight. Just a couple reminders. Vote. Absentee ballots are out now. The early voting period starts on October 26th, where you can actually vote in person. And election day is November 5th. Polls open at 7 in the morning and close at 8. And we have some voter guides. They're in the back. Oh yeah, you're holding them up. They look like newspapers. Please take those. Take them and distribute them to your friends and family. They have information about the candidates at state level, and there's a local insert. Also, go to vote411.org, put your address in, and you'll see your whole ballot. You'll see where your polling place is. There's tons of information there. So be an informed voter, but vote. So thank you very much.